Let's address the elephant in the room. This isn't your first rodeo. You probably already know a decent amount about habit change. You've read the books and listened to the podcasts and tried all the habit tracking apps out there. And you've likely tried time and time again to build a positive new habit into your life. And hey, maybe even for a week or two, or maybe even a month, you succeeded at it and told yourself, this is it. I'm finally gonna make this habit stick. But every time you find yourself falling back into old patterns. You've repeated this cycle ad nauseum, and it's only led to pain and disappointment. When you fall off the wagon over and over again, you might tell yourself a story like, I'm lazy, I'm not motivated, I don't have enough energy, or I lack discipline. But believe me when I say that you're not alone. You're not broken, and there's nothing wrong with you. Every single person that you admire or look up to has failed when trying to implement something new. Leo Babauta, author of Zen Habits, credits getting really good at failing to his eventual success. It's how he went from a sedentary lifestyle to someone who runs regularly, eats healthy, and wakes up early. Jerry Seinfeld was booed off stage in his first stand-up comedy appearance. After that experience, he committed to writing a joke every single day until he actually became funny. Even Barack Obama had tried and failed to give up smoking multiple times, before finally quitting for good in 2013 because he was reportedly scared of his wife. Operant conditioning for the win. The point is, failure is a part of every success story. This struggle to break through deep-seated patterns and introduce new ones is a part of what makes us human. The reason you and the rest of the world have failed in the past is because our brains are hardwired to resist change. Our monkey minds are really only good at two things: keeping us safe and preserving resources. Long-term behavior change doesn't really fit into that equation. How are we supposed to worry about our dental hygiene when we were fighting off neighboring tribes? Harvard researchers Robert Kegan and Lisa Laskow-Lahey even believe our resistance to change is so strong it could be thought of as a kind of behavioral immune system. They argue that behind each of our habits is a strongly held belief system that works hard to maintain a sense of equilibrium and fights any change that threatens the status quo. Just like our physiological immune system works hard to fight against foreign viruses. But by understanding some of the most common underlying reasons why we fail to make a change, we can begin to untether ourselves from some of the forces holding us back. Researchers have found that there are 4 common belief systems that repeatedly get in our way when we're trying to build a new habit. The first is ability beliefs. You don't believe you're capable of sticking to your habit. Say you started building the habit of going to the gym and you fell off track for a few days. You might start telling yourself, clearly I'm not strong enough, I'm not disciplined enough, and I'm too lazy to get back on track. This is a classic case of ability beliefs going wrong. Then there's outcome beliefs. You don't think the perceived benefits of the habit are worth the costs or effort, especially in the short term. Maybe you set out to meditate every day, but within a couple of weeks, you weren't seeing any of the benefits. And the experience was so painful that you decided it just wasn't worth the effort. In this case, there was an imbalance of outcome expectancies at play. Effort beliefs. You don't believe you have enough time or energy for your habit. Perhaps you started getting up 10 minutes earlier every morning to work on your novel, but then you started a new job that's an extra 30 minutes away from home. You tell yourself that you just don't have the time to do it anymore, that it would be too difficult to fit into your schedule. In this case, it was your effort beliefs that were holding you back. Value beliefs. You have deep-rooted fears or values that are getting in your way. Say you had the intention to make a weekly YouTube video, but then someone you know in real life mentions that they saw your first video. Suddenly you felt embarrassed and decided to stop. That's an example of low-value beliefs. Now, obviously, most of us don't have all 4 of these factors under control all the time, but the more self-awareness we build and the more we learn about these self-limiting beliefs, the more resilient we can be when they try to throw us off track. When I think back to a younger version of myself, I struggled with pretty much all of these, but I didn't let them hold me back. I could barely afford the dollar menu at Wendy's, let alone a fancy gym membership, so I found the cheapest membership I could find. I often worried what people would think of me at the gym. I mean, I didn't know the difference between a rep and a set. So instead of keeping quiet, I started asking questions, and I was blown away by how supportive people were. And I constantly felt like I was putting in so much effort and getting very little reward. And for that problem, I came up with a mantra. If it was easy, everyone would do it. I've repeated that phrase so many times, it's probably got its own neural pathway in my brain. When I felt out of place at the gym, I told myself, if it was easy, everyone would do it. When I was picking up my first filmmaking jobs on Craigslist, If it was easy, everyone would do it. When I published my first YouTube video and only got 8 views, if it was easy, everyone would do it. As I stumbled and pushed through these challenges, I repeated that mantra to myself over and over again. If it was easy, everyone would do it. To get you thinking about how some of your own belief systems are holding you back, I want you to open up your workbook to exercise 5. It's time to think deeply about some of the reasons that you failed to reach your goals in the past. This renewed sense of self-awareness will stick with you as you face future challenges, because I promise you, you will face more resistance along the way. You'll likely fall on your face a few more times as well. But when you understand the inner workings of how your brain sabotages you, you can gain the upper hand to finally break the cycle. And remember, if it was easy, everyone would do it.